immediate thoughts after throwing down a dunk like that?
Here's Curry penetrating, kicks to the wing, Wiggins.
You know, I try to eat healthy, try to get some sleep, live a good lifestyle, condition my body for moments like this.
Wiggins will drive hard and flushes with a big right hand. I mean, he went flying in the air and slammed it home.
Yeah, that was incredible. And his head was at the rim. Looking like Dominique Wilkins out there.
Oh, slam dunk. Goes by Bullock. Drops the sledgehammer.
They try to take it away, but, you know, that's what the challenge is for.
A vicious right-handed jam by Andrew Wiggins.
In the words of the great philosopher Richard Jefferson, whose baby is that?
That was something, yeah.
Perk, you did tweet after the game, though. That's the same thing that Blake Griffin did to you, right?
Yep.
That's a bucket and an NFT. Carry the hell on. So let's take a look. I'm sorry, Perk.
It's okay. It's okay. It happens.
No, it's a part of the game.
Yeah, I mean, you know, guys blow the defensive coverage, and it just happens.
Look, you the help man. What's like, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with that. Like, you coming over there trying to help a teammate.
No.
My thing is this. I understand what the officials are trying to do and blah, blah. There is no foul if you get dunked on. Even if you outside the charge circle, even if you're outside the charge circle and someone comes running in, that's a dunk. That is a dunk. I'm sorry. There is no foul charge.
It took away also the ability to be able to celebrate it in the moment. It was gone.
Well, I mean, you know the thing.
Man, if you take a forearm to your face, that's what you get.
You know how we are. We gotta stay petty. So what? We don't have to get petty, right?
Yeah,
so anytime somebody get dunked on, I want them to come on over to this side to take a little pressure off of me.
Take a little pressure. Just add them to the club. Yeah, look, I've been dunked on. We all been dunked on. It's a part of it. But I'm begging the officials, listen. Look at me. Can I get is there any way we can zoom in closer to me? Please just zoom in. Look, slow zoom in.
Ugh.
If someone gets dunked on, it's just being dunked on. There is no reviews. There is no offensive foul. There is nothing other than just being dunked on. That's it.
And with that, let's welcome in our Warriors reporter, Kendra Andrews. Kendra, I want to get a little insight from the team side here. What are Andrew Wiggins' teammates saying about his performance so far in this series?
Yeah, Malika, the Warriors are saying that Andrew's performance has been brilliant. As we heard Klay Thompson say, he looks like Dominique Wilkins out there. Now, heading into this series, you'll remember we were talking about how Andrew Wiggins was going to be tasked with defending Luka Doncic, and he has done it extremely well. Yes, of course, Luka's scored 40 points 2 times this one series, which is ridiculous. But with Wiggins on him as the primary defender, Luka's shooting just 53%, which is his worst offensive output all postseason. Now, what makes Wiggins' ascension even crazier is that he was brought to Golden State on a trade that stemmed off of Kevin Durant's departure, a huge loss for the Warriors, obviously. But earlier today, Steve Kerr said that the addition of Wiggins has been the key to unlocking the Warriors' success this postseason.
The roller coaster ride of this year, the fact that you are so close to getting back to the opportunity to compete for a championship, like you allow your mind to kind of wander a little bit, but I think we leverage our experience enough to know that you can't do that. And for us, we always just say stay locked in on what's happening right now. I even told myself that during the game, under my breath, just stay in the moment, because one, it's fun to compete, and you have to remember how much fun this stage is, these battles, this atmosphere, but we haven't done anything yet.
Now, Malik, I spoke with Steve Kerr yesterday, and I asked him, your team historically has slower starts to these games. Can you tell when your team is going to be locked in versus when it's going to take them a little bit longer? And he said 100%. And it all comes down to the way that Draymond Green and Stephen Curry are carrying themselves. And that tells him how they're going to start out. Now, the Warriors, they're just one win away from the NBA Finals. They have an opportunity to close out this series against the Mavericks tomorrow in Game 4. The Warriors have performed poorly in closeout games so far this postseason, but they hope that the higher stakes, a spot in the finals, with that being on the line, that they will come out ready to go from the jump.
Kendra, thank you so much. So here are the latest odds to win the title. That's according to Caesar Sportsbook. The Warriors, they're the favorites. The Heat, the Celtics, they're tied right behind them. And then the Mavs are a distant fourth.
You betting on the Mavs?
I'll put a hot $100
You put $1 on it?
Yep. Why not?
Warriors, they're 1 win away from their 6th finals trip over the last 8 seasons. And Richard, this year, this group, it's drawn a whole lot of comparisons to the Dynasty Warriors teams. And I just want to go on the record and say, over the summer, Mark Spears, he told me that he thought that this Warriors team could make it to this point and beyond to the finals, and I raised an eyebrow at him. I was dead wrong, Richard. Do you see similarities between these two groups?
Well, they're the same group. No, they are the same group.
Minus like a Kevin Durant-sized hole.
Yeah, but before that, they won a championship and went to a finals before him. And that's when they were in their early 20s, right? So this is the exact same group. They still have the greatest three-point shooter and a 2-time MVP. You still have Klay, the 77th best player in the history of the NBA, right? We've established that, right? And then you have Draymond, former defensive player of the year. Now, these guys are older, and to Kendra's point, they've done a good job bringing in Wiggins, the development of Jordan Poole, just the development of their younger players. And so it's like people make it seem there was the Jordan Bulls that had the Horace Grant, that was the Paxson, and then you had the Jordan Bulls that were the Dennis Rodman and that were the Steve Kerr. They were just a little bit different. They were on the bookend, and I think this is the bookend of this Warrior run. They had the first one, you had the Kevin Durant ears, and now this group right here, this is the one that rides off to the sunset.
No, I'm with you. And it's almost, again, plug and replace. You think about it, right? Same position. You look at Harrison Barnes, right? He come in, he do his thing at that position, they win the title. Then all of a sudden he leave, he get traded, you bring in Kevin Durant. They win 2 titles. Now they're on the verge of possibly winning another title, plugging in Andrew Wiggins, which speaks volumes not only to the culture but to the leadership, right, of not just Draymond Green, but to Steph and Klay, because I think they get ignored because Draymond Green is more vocal and he's more like, animated than those guys. But at the end of the day, you think about what guys say about Steph in that locker room and his leadership skills. It's something to applaud.
Well, and understand this. Ever since Kevin Durant left, the Warriors have been working to get themselves back to 2015, 2016. So they brought in more wings. So they drafted Kuminga. They brought in Toscano Anderson. They brought Andre Iguodala back. They've been just trying to get, we're not going to have that Kevon Looney. We're not going to have that superstar. So let's go back to the way we were building the team in 15 and 16. Yep. That is where they are closer to right now.
Well, what?
What, you got something? Why?
I do. And look, I do because you know what? I was thinking last night, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that is
and when I get to thinking, it's a problem.
Yep.
When I get to thinking, it's a problem. And it's not a hot take. This is just the damn truth, right? When you look at Steph Curry, a generational talent, a guy who averaged 25 points, I believe 6 assists, 5 rebounds for his career, shooting 44%, a generational talent that has changed the game of basketball forever.
Yep.
Shots that guys are now allowed to take, it's okay. When
some
you
of them
used to,
shouldn't take it.
Nah, they shouldn't. But you would get sit on the bench. So now I'm looking at it and I'm like, hold on. The way that Steph Curry has changed the game, right now in my eyes, he's already scratching or touching the surface at being the number 2 greatest point guard of all time. But if he goes and win the Finals MVP with another championship and the way that he has changed the game of basketball, now we could talk about. It's coming. You know it's coming. Look, listen, we could talk about the Mount Rushmores and whatever. I'm about to do it. They're going to have to put a little color in there for the green eyes.
Because is that why you're wearing that jacket today?
Yeah. Listen. When you change the game, this game has going to be changed forever because of Steph Curry. Guys like Trae Young need to applaud a guy like Steph Curry. So, generational talent, when you change the game to that level.
This is positionless basketball, right? So I view Steph more probably as a hybrid of a shooting guard than a 2-guard, but that's beside the point. But you have to understand, if you're going to go 10 to real quick, if you're going to go 10 to 12, right? If you're going to rank him somewhere in that space, you have to understand he's got to surpass the Bill Russells, the Kobe Bryants, the Tim Duncans, the LeBron James. You got to understand that list of the top 7 is accolades that I don't think if he wins a championship and a Finals MVP, he doesn't I don't think he goes anywhere. I think he stays right kind of in that
Bro,
space that he is in.
at the end of the day, we looking at this right, and it's no disrespect to Shaq or the late great Kobe Bryant. I'm not saying no.
With this pen
no,
on
you
TV,
won't.
yes, I
no,
will.
you won't. There'll be some furniture moving in here. Listen, at the end of the day, this is what I'm telling you. Steph already got 2 MVP.
Yes.
Right? Shaq got 1.
Don't you
Richard got to walk off the set.
Bro,
Listen,
you want to talk about changing the game, Steph?
Shaq did, but Steph did too. 6'2", 6'3".
I said Shaq.
I'm rocking with. No, you making this about Shaq and Steph. That's not about. I'm not
breaking.
No, I'm not doing that,
but
bro.
this is what happens when Kendrick starts thinking. That's the moral of this whole story, right?
Yeah. But
You're
it's facts, though.
you were saying Steph over Shaq.
I'm saying he's a generational talent, man. I'm
like
saying
your phone is blowing up currently right now. What you saying this type of stuff?
All right, that's the West side of
speaking
things.
the truth.
We're going to get back to that, including Dallas's spine. Did you guys see that? Still ahead, though. We're going to come back to Boston because.